My beloved child, there are three beings silently weaving themselves into your days. They do not knock, nor do they shout, but they conspire to steal the most precious part of you, the light I placed within you. Listen to me now, for I am about to unveil each of their disguised faces before your eyes. They do not come to strike you down outright, but to make you forget you ever had wings. They do not take your light, they simply make you forget it exists. And once you forget that you belong to the light, you will willingly step into the dark. My child, these three are not alike, but they share one purpose: to make you forget who created you in love and light. One will lull you with sweetness. Another will bind your soul in cold, rigid rules. The last, the most dangerous, will do nothing. He will simply stand there quietly pulling you toward forgetfulness. They do not need your obedience. They only need you tired and confused. In that darkness you will no longer hear my gentle calling. At first you may feel seen, guided, even loved, but slowly an emptiness will grow within you. The light that once warmed you will begin to dim, and you won't know why. You will find yourself smiling out of habit, silent out of fear, and living without truly feeling alive. These three will not take anything from you with noise. They will only cause you to let go one small thing at a time: a dream, a belief, a prayer. I do not say this to frighten you. I speak to awaken you. The light I placed in you is still there. You only need to remember where it lives. Every time you feel unsure, every time a whisper of warning stirs like a breeze in your spirit, that is me. I have never left you, even when you no longer know where you are being led. Those three may be strong, but you, when you stand in truth, are 100-fold stronger. Come back to the light, my beloved. Come back to me. My beloved child, there will be people who walk into your life as if they are the light you have long awaited. They smile at you with tender eyes, speak words that make you feel chosen, cherished, more precious than anyone else. But my child, I want you to be watchful. Not everyone with a gentle face truly loves you. Some come only to listen to your sorrow, not to heal it, but to find the fragile places in your soul. And from there they will slowly draw out your light, making you dependent on the feeling of being loved that they offer. That allure is not accidental. It is a carefully crafted trap. Their sweet words are not meant to lift you, but to dull your own voice, to numb your awareness of my presence. When you start to believe that only one person can make you feel worthy, when you begin to drift from true loving connections for the sake of that special bond pause, true love will never ask you to leave behind a healthy community. Love does not isolate, love connects, and the love that comes from me will never pull you away from the arms of those who quietly pray for you each day. I know your heart longs to be seen, to be deeply valued. But remember, there are some who make you feel chosen only to enclose you in a world where they alone are the center. At first it feels novel, even magical. But soon you will feel a quiet void, because what you're feeling is not love, but possession wearing the mask of care. And where there is only possession, true love cannot grow. The emotions they stir in you may be powerful, but they are not enduring. I gave you emotions to enjoy, not to enslave you. If a relationship causes you daily anxiety about whether you are good enough to be kept, then you are in the wrong place. The love I desire for you is one that lets you breathe freely, live truthfully, and simply be yourself. You do not need to perform to be loved. You only need to be, because real love is not born of perfection but of sincerity. I do not wish for you to shut your heart to goodness. I only want you to discern what comes from true light and what is merely an imitation. One who truly loves you will always lead you toward truth, never toward self-doubt. If someone causes you to slowly forget me, drift from your faith, or sever your soul's connection, then know this: it is not love from me. You are worthy of something purer, deeper. You were not born to be someone's plaything wrapped in beautiful words. You were born to shine in the unchanging love I have for you. My beloved child, the first one will not appear threatening, nor will they bear any obvious signs of danger. They will enter your life like a gentle breeze, comforting, warm, making you feel seen and treasured. They may say the words you've longed to hear, look at you in ways that make you feel more important than ever. But my child, do not let your heart hastily believe that this gentleness is genuine. There are those who have mastered the art of tenderness not because they love, but because they know that kindness can unlock the doors to your soul. And if you are not vigilant, they will step in plant seeds and build a false garden within you, a garden beautiful to the eye but void of life. I know you yearn for connection, for understanding. But remember, true love never wears a mask to be accepted. This person will not ask you to choose between them and those who have long loved you. And yet you will find yourself pulling away from familiar voices, growing hesitant around old friends, and slowly feeling distant from the community I placed you in. Their allure is not loud, not forceful. It merely whispers, "This one person is enough." And just when you think you've found a new refuge, that is when you begin to leave the true shelter where my hand has guarded you daily. Do not misunderstand me, my child. Gentleness is not wrong. But you must discern true love will never ask you to sever what is sacred, never require you to cut your roots in exchange for new attachment. That person may say they support you, that they stand in your way of nothing, but look closely. You will notice they always make you hesitate when you try to move forward in the light. They don't push you down, but they make you forget to rise. They don't snuff out your fire, but they cause you to wonder if the flame even matters. And slowly you begin to live without reflecting yourself in truth. My child, allure may warm the soul for a moment, but it cannot sustain you. The truth I planted within you cannot grow in a field of calculation, where sweet words are used to manipulate, not to heal. Real love does not make you feel you must earn it. It embraces you even when you are weak, even when you falter. If someone only draws near when you do what pleases them, be cautious. That is not love, it is control disguised as care. Return and look again at the first light I placed in your heart. Remember the one who loved you before you knew how to speak, before you ever learned to please others for acceptance. Look at those who were there when you were at your lowest, not with excessive sweetness, but with quiet, steady support. They are my echoes in your life. The charmer knows how to craft moments of delight, but true love is born of patience and honesty, needing no embellishment. Do not let yourself be swept away by a warm gaze or a firm grip. Let your soul be a place where only what is genuine can find its way in, my beloved child. The second figure does not come to entice you nor to stir your emotions. He wears a cloak of severity, carries a scroll of rules in his hand, and speaks with a voice that echoes like a command. He will tell you that life is a long chain of obligations, that only absolute obedience can make you worthy. He does not ask you to love or understand, only to comply. And if you stumble, he will make you believe you have betrayed me. But child, I am not the one waiting for you to fail, so I may condemn you. I am the Father, the one who draws near each time you fall. When you stay too close to him for too long, you'll begin to doubt yourself every time your heart feels weak. You'll fear being wrong, fear failure, fear that unless you do enough, you won't be accepted. The light within you no longer flows like a gentle spring, it becomes a stream, forced into rigid molds. You won't dare to try to dream or to love with sincerity for fear that unless you do it right, you won't be deemed holy enough. But true growth does not come from perfection. It comes from daring to learn, daring to fall, daring to rise again, and daring to believe that I still love you no matter how weak you may feel. That figure may quote what sounds very reasonable. He'll tell you to control yourself, to remain disciplined, to fight every flaw. He may convince you that you need to level up in order to come near me. But child, you don't need to climb any level. You have always been close to me. I was there when you were still a child taking your first steps in faith. I do not demand that you never fail. I only desire that you be honest with yourself and always return to me. Life requires discipline, this is true, and I teach you to live with principle. But real discipline is meant to set the soul free, not to bind it. Discipline is not a rope around your neck when you feel weak. It is the gentle hand that catches you before you fall into the abyss. And without love and forgiveness, every rule becomes a shackle. Do not let yourself be deceived into thinking that you are loved only when you get everything right. I love you even when you do not yet know what is right, and I still love you as you try to learn it every day. My beloved child, you were created with a heart meant to expand, not to be locked inside a mold. You do not need to be like anyone else. live like anyone else, or strive for perfection by someone else's measure to be accepted. Your worth lies in the inner light I ignited in you from the very beginning. No one can extinguish that light unless you forget that it ever existed. Live with discipline, yes, but also live gently. Obey me not out of fear, but because you believe I am the place you always belong with your whole self, even in your unfinishedness. My beloved child, the third figure will not come with dazzling charm, nor with stern commands. He does not bear the appearance of power, nor does he seek to dominate or control. He will arrive like a trustworthy friend, one who is always by your side. He does not speak much, nor does he argue. He simply nods at the right moments, listens in silence, and lets you gradually stray from the light. I know his presence feels comforting. No judgment, no pressure, only the feeling of being understood. But that comfort is the true danger, my child. In that silence, your dreams begin to fall asleep. He will never tell you that you can't, but he will quietly smile each time you mention your calling, your dreams, or the things I once stirred in your heart. He does not attack your faith, he simply lets it fade. And little by little you delay what matters most. You stop, you wait, and eventually you forget that you once had a fire burning within. The empathy he offers may seem sincere, and perhaps it truly is. But empathy without guidance will slow your soul to a standstill. Some may understand you, but they do not urge you back into the light. They do not lead you astray, but they also do not hold you back when you are about to step into the dark. That kind of companionship is not uplifting. It is a quiet erosion, like a rope thinning year by year unnoticed. My child, be cautious with silence that lacks direction. Be alert to those who make you feel okay in stopping but never awaken in you the longing to move forward. Not everyone walking beside you is headed in the same direction, and not all support is true love. Listen to your soul, it always holds. My gentle voice. If you feel yourself slowing, dimming, or even forgetting what once made your heart burn, then it's time to examine who is walking with you. I know there are days you are tired, doubtful, and need someone to understand. But choose those who remind you of the light, not just those who sit with you in the dark. Choose the one who speaks truth, even if their words are hard to hear in the moment, for they will save you from years of darkness to come. For you are the lamp I lit, not to be hidden by silence, but to shine and guide. Walk with those who make your fire burn brighter, not those who let it fade into forgetfulness. My beloved child, when these three figures, the sweet one, the rigid one, and the silent one, each take their turn, walking into your life, there will be moments when you feel confused, unsure of what is real and what is not. But I have not left you to grope through the darkness alone. From the very first breath I placed in your chest, I also placed within you a precious gift, intuition, the gentle whisper of the Spirit, a quiet light that never loses its way. It is not loud, not forceful, not competitive, but it is always present. And when you listen deeply enough, you will realize it is I whispering to your heart. There will be times when you cannot explain why something feels off. You will not see it with your eyes nor hear it with your ears, but within your heart something softens, a light dims, a feeling makes you want to slow down. Do not dismiss that feeling, my child. It is not weakness or worry. It is life within you responding to the dark. It is my hand on your shoulder gently saying, "Wait, my child." And if you know how to pause, how to listen, you will avoid many regrets you won't even be able to explain later. Truth does not always arrive with thunder or in grand moments. More often it comes like the dawn, quiet, tender, and visible only to those who truly pay attention. You won't hear me shouting over life's noise, but in the stillness, in the moment you choose to return inward, my voice will rise clearer than anything else. That is when your intuition awakens, not through logic, but through love. And love is the most trustworthy compass of all. I know the world teaches you to believe in clear outcomes, sound reasoning, and solid evidence. But there are sacred things that cannot be measured by the eye. The seductive one may speak rightly, the strict one may live righteously, and the silent companion may appear sincere. But true light does not lie in words or appearances, it lives in the faintest stirring within your heart when you face the truth. Learn to discern not just with your mind, but with your entire soul. My child, you are not alone amidst the sea of people and choices. You have me, and you have yourself with the intuition I've already placed within you. Do not doubt that gift just because it is quiet. Do not let the loud voices of life drown out the gentle voice within. Let your heart be the place where I dwell, and that very intuition will guide you when all other paths seem lost. Listening is a grace, and you have enough of it. All you need is to trust. My beloved child, after all the deceptions those three have spun, their ultimate goal, though carried out in different ways, has always been the same: to pull you away from love, away from the community I placed you in. They know well that an isolated soul is a vulnerable one. They don't need to attack you head-on. They only need to plant thoughts like, "No one understands me. It's better to stay silent. Only I know what's right." And when you withdraw from the embrace of those who genuinely love you, you become fragile like a flame outside its lantern. That is the moment when the light within you is most at risk of being extinguished. My child, I did not create you to walk alone. From the very beginning, when humanity came into being, I declared, "It is not good for man to be alone." I placed deep within you a longing to connect, to share, to be upheld, and to uphold others. Love is not merely the bond between you and me. It is also the bridge between you and the souls I've placed around you. Each person in that community is a part of my loving plan for you. And when you drift away from them, you drift away from a portion of the light I've sent to you through them. Perhaps you've been hurt by people in that very community. Perhaps you felt misunderstood, judged. I see it. I understand. But don't trade an entire garden of light for a few shattered shadows. You were not made to hide in loneliness, but to live fully, to live brightly, to live with a heart open to love and healing. True love will never make you feel small, invisible, or pressured. It gives you room to grow, to fail, to learn, and to become. It holds your hand even when you feel unworthy. When you abide in love, true love, the kind that comes from me and from those I've placed around you, you will feel a strange kind of freedom, not the freedom to run away, but the freedom to come home to yourself. No more pretending. No more striving to be lovable. Just being. Those deceivers want you to believe you're strongest when standing alone. But no, you are strongest when you lean into love, when you dare to open your heart and allow the light of others to reflect the light within you. My child, return to the healthy bonds. Seek out those who once reminded you of your calling, who prayed for you, who wept with you in silence. Be brave enough to step out of the isolation the enemy has quietly built around you, for you were not born to live in the shadows of separation. You were born to belong, and I have already prepared a place full of light and love, where you can be wholly yourself, unafraid of being hurt. Walk toward it, dear one. Return to community, and I will be there in the midst of those who truly love you, my precious one. When you're drawn to gentle glances and words as sweet as honey, I know you're not deliberately turning your back on the light. You are simply longing to be heard, to be understood, to be seen deeply without judgment. But child, be wary of sweetness that lacks the root of true love. A fleeting compliment from a stranger can never compare to the patient gaze of someone who's seen your weakness and still chooses to stay. Brief concern cannot replace the enduring affection that's been built over time, where you don't need to strive for acceptance because you've always belonged. I see those moments when your heart wavers, when you wonder if you're missing something more exciting out there, but what's exciting is sometimes just loneliness covered in sugar. I don't blame you for feeling stirred. Your heart was made to feel, to open, to give. But precisely because of that, you must learn to hold on to what truly matters. Those who've loved you with perseverance, through your stumbles, through your self-doubt, they are my gifts to you. Real love is not flashy. It doesn't fade when you fail, nor does it retreat when you're not yet enough. It's steady, silent, like a home to return to without conditions, without striving. And child, if anyone, be it a teacher, a mentor, or a spiritual figure, makes you believe that you're only loved if you get everything right, remember this: I have never loved you because you're perfect. I love you because you are you. With all your contradictions, your unfinished healing, your unseen beauty, I don't need you to become someone else to deserve my love. It is when you honestly face even your weakest parts without running that you draw closer to the light I placed in you. You are learning little by little. Don't let cold, rigid standards convince you that a backward step is failure or a stumble means you're not good enough. Every detour can become a place of turning back stronger and wiser. Life is not a straight path, it's a winding road with pauses to breathe, forks to explore, and even dark stretches to help you treasure the light. And through it all, you are never alone. I walk beside you silent, but never letting go. There may be times when you feel lost amid the noise of the world, the weight of judgments and expectations pressing on your shoulders. But stop for a moment. Listen to your heart. Deep within there is a gentle, patient voice that is me. I don't push you away nor demand that you change instantly. I am inviting you back to yourself, to truth, to the light you've carried from the beginning. I don't ask you to be the best in the world's eyes. I ask you to live truly from your soul, a soul radiant, brave, and full of kindness. You don't have to carry the burden of perfection. I never placed it on your shoulders, so don't let anyone else place it there. Rules can shape you, but without mercy they become chains. You were made to grow, to transform, not to be trapped in some rigid mold. Those who make you afraid of mistakes are not bringing you closer to me. I do not love you less because of your faults. I love you more for every effort you make to rise again. And if ever you feel lost, if your light begins to dim from trying to fit into some holy template, know this: it's time to turn inward and place your hand on your heart. That warmth is real. That heartbeat is a reminder that you are still alive, still learning, still deeply loved, completely unconditionally. I don't count your stumbles, I cherish each time you try to rise. So, my child, walk with a light heart. Be grateful for those who stood beside you through stormy days. They are my reminders to you that you are not alone. And be brave enough to step away from those who make you shrink just to stay. True humility does not mean enduring harshness. And real faith never asks you to abandon the depth and color within your soul. I want you free to be yourself, to choose what is right, to give yourself fully, and to love without asking permission. Do not let anyone's voice, no matter how wise or reverent they may seem, make you forget the simple truth. I chose you, I have known you, and I loved you long before you ever knew them. I did not build you with fear. I built you with love, and love is never a burden. It is a home, a support, a space for you to breathe and to grow. If any relationship demands that you sacrifice your peace, your freedom, and the light within you, then it is not love from me. Keep walking, my child. With courage and an honest heart, guard your gentleness like a candle in the wind, not easily extinguished, but always needing care. And whenever you feel weak, turn back and look at the love that remains, those who stay without conditions, without applause, simply because you are still you. For true love always remains, just like I do still here. My beloved child, on this arduous journey called life, there will be days when your heart feels clouded, not because you've gone astray, but because darkness sometimes comes simply to test the light within you. And when you find your soul disoriented, I want you to remember asking for help is not a sign of weakness, but a mark of courage. Only the truly brave dare to open their hearts to admit they are not okay, to reach out in a world that teaches people to carry everything on their own shoulders. Do not be afraid to lean on someone when you need to. None of you were made to walk this path alone. I created connection so that you could reflect each other's light. Among those around you, I have delicately placed a few souls, quiet, unassuming, but they are the gentle shelters your spirit needs when the storms roll in. Seek them when you're weary. Speak, even if only in a whisper. You'll be surprised how often, once your heart opens, a hand will reach back. My child, when you begin to share your thoughts, the worries, the struggles, the things that defy words, you are opening the door for light to pour in. Not everyone will understand, but even one heart that listens fully is enough to give you the strength to rise. True understanding needs no elaborate explanation. It lives in the eyes that remain silent at the right moment, in a simple squeeze of the hand, in a presence that demands nothing in return. These small things hold the power to lift a wavering soul. I want you to know this as well. Wisdom does not come from the loudest voice. It arises from the most patient listening. Learn to listen. Listen to others, not to respond, but to understand what they cannot say aloud. Listen to yourself, not to the shouting of the ego, but to the deep echoes of your soul where I speak to you each day. And above all, listen to the gentle truth, the one the world so often hides behind orders, slogans, and the pressure to succeed. This world is not made only of light. I won't shield you from that truth. There are forces at work in subtle ways, not to make you fall instantly, but to quietly pull you away from the light. They don't always appear as evil. Sometimes they show up in the form of care, of good principles, or advice for your own good. What makes them dangerous is the deceit wrapped in kindness. You must be discerning. And what enables discernment is not sharp logic, but a tender heart that still knows how to tremble at truth. My beloved, what I desire from you is not blind obedience, nor a spotless reflection. What I long for is a heart still soft enough to love, even after it has been hurt. I want you to hold on to that softness, not to be trampled, but to heal. In a world where strength is often defined by hardness and coldness, I want you to know that real strength lies in the ability to love when you are most vulnerable. So continue your walk with gentleness in your heart. Choose forgiveness when you can, but also learn to say no to what harms your soul. Choose kindness even when others choose harshness. Choose empathy, even if it means being misunderstood. And choose love even when fear feels safer. For these choices will carve out a space within you where falsehood cannot survive, where darkness cannot root, and only light can dwell. You will stumble, you will doubt, but never lose the purity of your heart. Do not let fear control you, do not let anger define you, and do not let pain lock you into silence. Every time you choose to open up instead of shutting down, you are writing another chapter in the love story between me and you, a story with no ending, only continual invitations to return. Trust me, my dearest. There is no step you take that I do not see, no tear you shed that I do not feel, no whispered prayer in the dark that goes unheard. I do not love you because you are strong. I love you so that you may find the strength to live truthfully as yourself. And when doubt closes in around you, ask yourself, what is it deep inside that I still believe in? What won't let me turn away completely? That remaining sliver of light is enough for me to rekindle the entire sky within you. You are walking a hard road, and I know there are moments you grow so tired you want to stop. Times when you question yourself and wonder, am I on the right path? Am I good enough to continue? In those moments, what you need is not judgment, but patience and tenderness. The very same kindness you often give to others, yet forget to give to yourself. I do not demand perfection. I only hope you keep moving forward, even if it's a trembling step, even if you fall. And each time you fall, if you can reach out, you will find my hand steady, loving, always there. My child, there will be people who enter your life like lightning, dazzling and intense but fleeting. Some will come like a breeze, seemingly harmless but stirring your soul in unexpected ways. A person's true essence is not always visible at first glance, nor in charming or wise words. It takes time, it takes trials, it takes the heart that has learned how to love properly. Do not trust someone just because they understand you. And do not hate someone simply because they are not what you hoped. Let true love be the light that illuminates everything, love that is not blind nor bitter but clear, born of trust in me and in yourself. Everyone you meet on your path may hold a lesson teaching you how to love, how to forgive, how to let go, and how to cherish what is sacred. But these lessons do not always arrive with thunderous drums. They often come in quiet forms, an honest look, a silent embrace, a seemingly trivial phrase that awakens you. That is when your intuition speaks softly yet deeply enough to stir your soul. Do not seek truth in noise and spectacle. I do not hide in cheers, but in the whispers of an awakened heart. You may have once lost yourself to seductive invitations. You may have followed someone just to keep their affection or acceptance. But remember, love never asks you to abandon yourself just to stay. True love calls you home, not to remain in someone's shadow, but to grow freely in light and liberty. I did not create you to be a copy of anyone. You were born to be fully, uniquely, beautifully, and powerfully yourself. In a world that constantly urges you to move faster and reach higher, learn to pause to breathe, to feel, to remember what truly makes you alive. A gentle word amid the rush, a warm cup of tea by the window as rain falls, a short prayer at dawn, or a quiet moment beside someone who understands you without needing words. These seemingly small moments are the foundation of your soul, layer by layer, day by day, until you become a strong tower in the winds of life. Do not let glittering words or rigid systems dull the simple but profound truth within you. Strength is not found in display, but in quiet steadiness. I do not seek you among the noisy crowds. I wait for you in the still moments when you return to yourself, simply breathing in my presence. There is no pressure to be enough, no fear of being left behind, only gratitude, peace, and a love that asks nothing. Notice the simple but truthful things, the soft light of morning, the bird song at your window, the smile of a stranger, expecting nothing, or a kind question from someone you forgot cared. These are not meaningless details, they are my daily reminders that you are still living in a world full of love, even when you don't see it. Treasure these as precious gems, not for the value others place on them, but for the quiet light they bring to your soul. Keep them close to your heart, so that when the world grows too loud, too tangled, you still have a place to return to. I am that place. I am the stillness in your soul, the quiet beat of a love that never changes. No matter how far you go, as long as you turn back, my arms will always be open. My child, do not force yourself to understand everything today. Some lessons only reveal themselves when time has deepened. Some truths emerge only after tears. Some relationships show their essence only when you are calm enough to truly observe. I beg you, do not lose patience. Do not rush to judge. Do not fear what is still unclear. Keep living, keep loving, and keep learning each day, each step, with a tenderness that begins with yourself. My beloved child, there will come a time when you realize that not everything gentle is truly peaceful, and not all that appears beautiful on the outside is born of genuine love. That charming one will enter your life like a cool breeze on a sweltering day, making you exhale in relief, thinking at last you've found a refuge. They will say things that soothe your heart, offer you the feeling of being seen, of being cherished, and yet little by little they will draw you away from the very roots that have long nourished your soul. They won't push or coerce. They'll simply plant a vague question, a novel idea, a subtle suggestion that makes you begin to doubt what you've always called home. You may not notice it right away, but a night will come when all noise has settled, when the fog of sweet words no longer veils your vision, and you will feel an emptiness in your heart. Not sharp, not painful, just a soft hollow like a gentle sigh. And when you look back, you'll see that you've drifted from the genuine embraces, the caring questions, the moments when someone looked you in the eye and said, "I still believe in you." That is when you must remember those who truly love you will never make you trade your peace for a fleeting sense of being special. They don't try to make you shine brighter. They simply stay so the light within you can shine on its own. And I urge you, do not let any voice, no matter how soothing, separate you from the hands that once held you through tears, from the whispered prayers beside your bed when you were weary, from the hearts that have loved you with unending patience. Do not let strong connections be severed just for the sake of something that feels new. You have the right to open your heart to new things, but keep your roots grounded in true love. And if you ever found peace in a gaze, a gentle touch, a quiet embrace, that is the sign I left for you, so you would know where the truth resides. Likewise, the stern one does not come to seduce, but to correct. They do not offer you the feeling of being loved, but instead burden your shoulders with the pressure of being worthy. They don't ask how you feel, but only if you've done enough, if you're right enough, if you're good enough. They will say, if you want to be called righteous, you cannot be wrong. They draw a straight, cold path and say, it is the only way, and if you step off it, you'll be lost. They call it discipline. But I ask you, has discipline ever made your heart wither? Has truth ever required you to abandon gentleness, compassion, or your tender soul? I did not create you to become a miniature version of someone else living by their own rules. I created you to be yourself, unique, unrepeatable. Truth does not reside in commands, but in growth. And growth, my dear, is never the product of pressure. It comes from daring to try, daring to fail, daring to rise again with a soft heart, not a hardened one. I have never asked you to be tough to prove anything. I only want you to be honest, with yourself, with me, and with those you love. Life is a painting, not a print from a template. Every smudge, every unexpected shade contributes to the one-of-a-kind masterpiece that is you. And if anyone asks you to erase your own colors just to fit a drawing they've already imagined, then you must ask, is that the true path? I do not lead you with barricades. I invite you to walk in freedom. And that freedom is not recklessness, it is the ability to live with a whole soul unstrangled by fear or restraint. My child, gentleness is a strength. Do not let anyone make you believe you must trade it away to become reliable, serious, or chosen. The truly strong are not those who suppress emotion, but those who dare to live authentically with their feelings without letting them control their spirit. The strict may give you a sense of safety within rules, but if your inner life begins to fall silent, that is not where I want you to remain. I am the God of life, of growth. And where I am present, there is always space for you to breathe, to grow, to be fully you, even if today you are not yet complete. Remember this, my beloved. You do not need to be perfect to be loved. My love for you does not arrive after you've done enough, but has been there since you first learned to walk. And it will remain, even when you stumble, when you stray, when you feel unworthy. I do not love you because you are right. I love you so that you may have the courage to continue even when you are wrong. My precious child, do not be afraid when you hear a gentle calling in your heart, a quiet but earnest voice guiding you down another path, even if that path defies what others expect or feels unfamiliar to what the world deems right. I know there will be times when you feel alone for choosing the path less traveled, for rejecting the call of spectacle in favor of quiet truth. But it is in that silence that your light shines brightest, not to attract attention, but to warm the soul and guide those who are as lost as you once were. This world, dear child, is noisy, full of conflicting advice, of pressures disguised as love, of standards that exhaust you in your attempt to please everyone. I see that weariness in your eyes each night. I hear the sigh you suppress after doing the right thing, yet still feeling empty. But my child, the most right thing is not what pleases everyone. It is what brings peace to your soul and keeps tenderness in your heart. I did not send you into this world by chance. I planted in you a heart soft enough to feel but strong enough to withstand storms. And I placed in your mind a light, not to hide but to illuminate every choice you make. When you face decisions, don't look only at outcomes. Ask if that choice brings you closer to me or pulls you away from love and compassion. If it requires you to betray the truth in your heart for the sake of outward perfection, stop. Because truth will never demand that you abandon yourself. When you feel torn, confused by many voices, I want you to listen for the one voice that is loving and gentle. Not the one that commands, not the one that criticizes, but the one that whispers. You are still loved no matter what you choose. That voice will not rush you nor push you into darkness, but will give you room to reflect, to pray, to reconnect with the deep well within, where I still quietly dwell. My child, true love does not pressure. It does not force you to prove anything. True love lets you live in truth, even if that makes you different. And you will never be alone in that difference, because I will always be near, quietly lifting your steps and whispering in your heart whenever you are afraid. When you choose love over judgment, kindness over competition, you are preserving a sanctuary in your soul where darkness cannot enter. Learn to pause, breathe deeply when things feel suffocating. I have given you a world full of quiet beauty to help you remember that truth still exists, even when the world is cloaked in falsehoods. The rustle of leaves in the garden, sunlight filtering through clouds, the soft scent of warm tea, the innocent laughter of a child, these need no reason to exist. And likewise, true joy needs no justification. It only needs to be felt, with full presence and a grateful heart. When you listen to birdsong in the morning, you need not analyze why they sing. When an old friend smiles at you, you need not question their intent. Let these remind you life is made of small moments, unassuming yet truer and more precious than any hollow promise. These moments are how I say to you, you are still alive, and I am still loving you with every breath. I do not need you to prove anything. I only need you to have the courage to live in alignment with what you know is true, and I know you already know it, for I have planted the seed of wisdom within your soul. Nurture it with simplicity. Let love and kindness be your guiding lights, especially when you're uncertain of the way. Don't let those with pretty words make you forget my familiar voice. Don't let those demanding perfection make you doubt your worth. I have chosen you, not because you are skilled, but because you can love. And in a world full of competition and suspicion, the ability to love is still the most precious gift. You don't need to defeat anyone. You only need to be true to yourself and love others with sincerity. That alone is enough to change the world, starting with your own. So, if you are lost, return to simplicity. Go back to what makes you smile unconsciously. Sit quietly in the soft light of the afternoon. Recall the last time you truly felt at peace and move in that direction. For where there is peace, there I am. My dearest child, you do not need to do anything grand to make me proud. The fact that you've kept a kind heart in this world, that alone is a miracle. Walk with gentle eyes, hands ready to lift, and a heart that understands. I dwell in every small act of goodness, and I will always be the light at the end of your path, waiting for you, loving you, unconditionally, unchanging. My beloved child, let the simplest of truths become the roots of your life. Do not let anyone convince you that truth must be complex to be real, or that love must be conditional to be true. The truth is this: you are loved simply because you are you, no embellishments needed, no perfection required. I have engraved your name upon the palm of my hand, and every beat of your heart is living proof that I am present with you every moment, never apart. Do not let lofty words make you forget the quiet peace that always lingers within your soul. Your wisdom does not lie in the glittering philosophies of the world, but in your ability to pause, to listen, to feel, and to choose love, when everything around you invites you to doubt. Each time you choose not to react in anger, not to escape in silence, but to remain with honesty and kindness, you draw a step closer to your truest self, and to me. You were not created to be a replica of anyone else, nor to conform to frameworks that are foreign to your soul. Your path is unique, like a flower that cannot bloom in the way of another. Do not let others dictate how you should grow, how you should love, or what you must believe to be right. I have lit within you a distinct light, gentle yet steadfast, quiet yet powerful. Let that light be your compass. Even when the sky is fogged with mist, you will recognize the right path, if only you turn inward to see. There will be times when you feel lost. My words may seem scattered by the wind, and what you once believed might suddenly fade. But my dear, one truth does not disappear. It is only temporarily veiled by clouds of doubt and fear. In those moments, just pause. Breathe. Place your hand over your heart and ask, where is my light? In that very moment you will feel me again, not in the heavens far above, but right where your hand meets your chest. Never question your worth simply because others cannot see it. Perhaps they have yet to learn how to see with their hearts, but I am different. I do not need you to try in order to be loved. I have loved you before you even understood what love meant. And that love does not waver. It does not demand blind obedience, nor does it ask you to strain yourself to be worthy. It is like the air, ever present, needing no proof. Each time you choose love over fear, you step out from the shadows of the world and into the sacred light that has always belonged to you. Not all love is gentle, but the love that comes from me is always a place of rest for your soul. I do not wish to make you a perfect person by the standards you've imagined. I only wish you to live authentically, live fully, and live with all the softness you once believed you weren't allowed to carry. Do not hesitate to be vulnerable. Do not be ashamed when you find yourself doubting, lost, or even broken. It is precisely in those moments that your true strength begins to awaken. Challenges are not punishments, they are invitations. Invitations to come closer to yourself, to me, and to a life lived without regret. Without them, you would never know that you could rise again on trembling legs, but with mighty spirit. And when you rise each step, no matter how slow, no matter how unsure, becomes a song that celebrates life. Every small step you take resounds in the heavens, for it declares that you have never given up on the light. You may not know where the path leads, but as long as you walk in faith, I will guide each step. You do not need to understand everything. Just believe that I am holding your hand, even when you cannot feel it. There is a tender, powerful beauty in living simply, not to impress, not to prove, but simply to be present. To live in the heart of love, letting that love flow through every action, every glance, every word. When you live like this, you become a living sign of me in the world. No need to shout your faith, no need to argue what is right or wrong. Your presence alone is already an answer to the world. And remember, you are never alone. In the long nights when you believe no one hears your whispered prayers, I hear. In the mornings when you don't want to open your eyes, I am there softly calling your name with a voice only a quiet heart can hear. You are not alone, not only because I am here, but because there are others walking quietly beside you, souls also seeking, also learning to love, also fighting not to give up on the light. They are your brothers, your sisters, the family I've sent, not to replace me, but to remind you that I am always near. My dear child, I do not ask you to become good enough. I only ask that you be true. True enough to cry when weary, to pray when weak, and to keep believing when everything inside you says you cannot. Live, my child. Live with your whole heart. Live unafraid of being wrong. Live without hiding your wounds. Live without needing to be understood by everyone. Because I understand. And I choose you every day, not because you do everything right, but because you are simply you. Your light will not go out, my dear. It may dim in the storm, but it has never vanished. And when the winds settle, when you return to the stillness within your soul, you will see it again, glowing small but eternal. Trust that light and let it lead you home. Now I ask you, my beloved child, to keep walking the road of life with both clarity and gentleness in your soul. Do not let past wounds harden your heart, and do not let the fear of being hurt again close you off to the quiet beauty I scatter daily along your path. There are things that reason must discern, but there are also things only an open heart can understand. Be the guardian of both, awareness as your lantern and tenderness as the stream that nourishes your spirit. My child, though this world changes daily, though hearts may turn from white to black, there are eternal truths that never fade. True love, true friendship, and the light of truth. You have been loved before. And those memories, even if they were just a hand held in a moment of weakness, a knowing glance among many doubts, or a silent prayer you never heard, they are proof you were never truly alone. Hold on to them as a fortress against the falsehoods that will knock at your heart's door. And whenever you feel lost, close your eyes, call out the names of those who once loved you with all their hearts, and you will know what is real. Some words may seem righteous, but when absorbed into your soul, leave you cold. Some speak of truth as if they hold the only key, yet all they do is build walls between you and the freedom I intended. Some sweetness is coded just to lead you into the darkness of dependence. Do not let anyone, in any way, make you forget that you were born of love, by love, and for love. I did not create you to be controlled. I created you to be free, free to be real, free to love deeply, and free to stand firm in your own light. Always look deeper than the surface, my child. When someone makes you feel you must change to be loved, step back and ask, can I still be myself in their presence? If the answer is no, that is not love. That is a transaction. But when you are with someone who allows you to take off the mask and still be loved, still be respected, that is where you belong. Hold on to people like that, for they are the signs of my love sent to you. And above all, trust in your own compassionate heart. You've been through so much, you've learned, you've hurt, you've grown. Each scar is a hidden signpost showing you who is real and who is not. Every time you stumble, you are not falling back. You are rooting yourself deeper into sacred ground. Let your heart, even if it's been wounded, always remain the place where truth, gratitude, and life take root. It is in that very heart that I have planted my seed of love, and it is there that I remain with you every single day. My beloved child, the world may not always receive you as you hope, but you Receive yourself with all the compassion you deserve. When you are uncertain of the way, return to the simple things: a quiet prayer, a silent moment beneath the morning sun, a soft blessing for someone who once hurt you. In these small things you will find yourself again, and find me, my beloved child. Each morning as you open your eyes to greet the dawn before the worries of a new day have a chance to cloud your mind, I want you to know this: you already have everything you need to face what lies ahead. Whether it's a task that seems trivial or a decision that feels overwhelming, you carry within you the wisdom to understand, the heart to feel, and the courage to continue. I did not create you in haste. Every part of you, what you cherish and even what you've yet to understand, was purposefully and lovingly formed by me. Nothing in you is excess. No detail is random. You are a wondrous creation, and the light within you cannot be extinguished by a single gloomy day. My child, the world is not always gentle. There will be days when you feel like a fragile leaf caught in a whirlwind, unsteady, vulnerable, and easily swept away. But pause for a moment and remember, it is the very light I placed in your heart that gives meaning to each step you take. Every time you choose kindness over anger, forgiveness over pride, you are standing on the side of truth. I do not require you to perform grand acts to prove this, only to live with sincerity of heart. In every small act, a gentle touch filled with compassion, a listening gaze, a smile, expecting nothing in return. These are the quiet ways in which you protect the most precious gift, the light born of love. I know there will be mornings when you awaken feeling empty. You may do everything right, fulfill every role, and still hear a silence inside you as if something is fading. That is when the noise of life expectations, comparisons, even well-meaning but wounding advice drowns out your own voice. You begin to doubt not the world but yourself. You question your worth, your path, whether your presence still matters. I see it all, and I will not rush you to be strong again. I simply invite you, sit with me for a while. When your heart is in turmoil, you don't need a lofty place to find me. Just a quiet corner, a small space in your room, a park bench, even a few moments with your eyes closed in the middle of your day. There I wait, not with judgment or rebuke, but with a heart that listens. Take a deep breath, child. Let the air pass through your chest. Let your breath become a silent prayer. And in that stillness, you will hear what the whole day has drowned out: the gentle voice of love that has never left you. That voice is not loud. It doesn't compete with the harshness of the outside world. It only waits for your willingness to listen. It is my voice, the same one that whispered to you as a child, that held you when you first stumbled, that comforted you in the nights you cried from not being understood. And it's still here, unchanging, unfading, waiting only for your return. Let your heart speak, not your logic, not your to-do list, but the honest voice from your deepest self, where I laid the foundation of love. You don't need all the answers. Sometimes the very things you don't yet understand are the most precious pieces of a greater picture I am still painting. When you feel like you're not progressing, when you doubt the presence of light within you, think of a small candle. It doesn't shine like the sun, but in a dark room, even the tiniest flame can change everything. You are that light in someone's world, even if you don't realize it. Every good choice you make, every forgiveness you offer, every time you step out of fear with courage, is your reply to the love I planted in you. Believe in yourself, child, not because you are perfect, but because you are sincere. Every soul I created carries a purpose, none like another, and you are no exception. Do not let the world convince you that you must do more, be more, or change yourself to be worthy of that light. You already carry it. It's in your eyes when you show empathy to a stranger, in your laughter, shared with those you love, in the silence you keep instead of letting anger speak. You have been living in the light even when you didn't know you were. Beloved child, on days of uncertainty, slow down, not to escape but to heal. To remember that you are not the product of pressure. You are the result of love, and love does not push. It nourishes, it waits. It meets you when you are ready. Sometimes the most courageous thing is not to keep running, but to pause and look back to see how brave you've been, how strong you truly are. I know you're tired, but being tired does not mean you are weak. It means you've been trying, and I am here not to force you to rise, but to be the shoulder you can lean on, to breathe, to cry if needed, and when you're ready to walk on again. Every time you return to kindness, you are doing something extraordinary. Every time you refuse to become bitter, even when you have every reason to, you are showing a strength deeper than any grand display. You do not need to be seen to matter. As long as you live with a whole heart, you are living the truth I've given you. And when night falls, when another day ends, whether it held triumph or struggle, I want you to know I am still here. In the moonlight cast on the wall, in the breeze that brushes through your window, in the rhythm of your heart, steadfast, alive, carrying the quiet call, you are my beloved, and nothing, no failure, no judgment, no misstep can ever take that from you. Sleep peacefully in that truth. And tomorrow, as you face life once more, walk in faith. You are not alone. You have me, and you have yourself, a soul carrying a light that no darkness can extinguish. My beloved child, when you hear a gentle whisper rise amidst the noise and chaos, pause. Do not rush past it. Do not dismiss it as a fleeting emotion or a trivial coincidence, for sometimes the smallest things hold the deepest messages from me. That is the voice of truth. Not the truth that scolds, punishes, or boasts, but the tender, merciful truth that has always lived within you, quietly guiding you home. It is the call of home, not a house made of wood or stone, but the place where your soul finds rest, where you don't need to play a role, don't need to strive to be someone else, don't need to strain to be worthy. That home is in my arms, where you are fully accepted, even in your weakest moments. Each time your heart stirs at an act of kindness, each time tears fall because someone truly sees you, each time you sit silently, watching sunlight fall through leaves and feel your heart soften, you are hearing your soul's homeland calling your name. You have never been alone, dear one. No matter how far you feel from me, I am still there, never one step away. You may not feel my presence immediately because your heart has been worn by disappointment, anxiety, or pain. But it is precisely in the darkest days that my light shines most clearly, not in words, but in presence. A presence that does not demand, does not overwhelm, only waits quietly for you to open your heart again. When you lose your way, do not be afraid. No one walks a perfect path without once straying. But I want you to understand, being lost is not being forsaken. It is simply forgetting the way home. And you can find that path again at any time, the moment you are willing to return with an open heart. Not a heart that knows everything, but one that dares to admit it is still learning, still searching, still longing for truth. Beloved, every step you take, if guided by love and the pursuit of goodness, is progress, no matter how slow. And even if you do not yet see the light at the end of your path, know this, that light does not lie outside of you. It lies within your soul's yearning for truth. Keep walking even when clarity eludes you. For loyalty to what is good will always lead you to shores you never imagined. The strength to overcome darkness does not come from hardness, but from the ability to keep your heart from freezing in pain. When you can still see beauty through loss, when you choose to believe in people despite betrayal, when you give goodness without needing repayment, that is when your light shines in a way darkness cannot overcome. That light is not something I dropped from heaven, it is yours, and I planted it in you before you could speak. Seek that strength in simple things, in the carefree laughter of genuine friends, in the gentle eyes of a stranger who listens, in the unconditional embrace of someone who needs no reason. These are not just beautiful moments, they are places where I reach you in ways you can feel. They are proof that life is not as cold as it sometimes seems. The world still holds what is pure enough to help you walk forward one more day. When you choose to slow down, to see, to feel, to listen, you will find that truth does not always arrive wrapped in logic. It may come in a quiet act of care, in the peaceful silence of an autumn afternoon, in the sound of wind brushing against the door. These moments are not loud, but they carry more power than 1,000 sermons. They are, my reminders, you are alive. And as long as your heart remains kind, you are still walking the right way. Do not let loud voices drown out the whisper inside. Do not let society's standards define you. They may say, you are wrong just because you don't follow the crowd or the mapped-out path. But I tell you truly, there is no single right road for all, only the road that is right for your soul. And you will find it not by asking others, but by stepping forward and bravely listening to your heart. No matter how many times you've fallen, I am still here. Even if you've forgotten me through many seasons, I still remember your name. Even if pain has closed your heart, I still knock with patience. It is never too late to come home. It is never too late to begin again. My love is not measured by your achievements. It fills every moment where you still know how to love, dare to live honestly, and keep searching for the light. When you open your heart to someone, choose the one who helps you grow, not the one who makes you shrink to fit their expectations. When you walk with someone, ask yourself, do they help me remember that I am light? If not, step back, even if it aches. I want you to live in a love that sets you free, not a love that cages you. I want you to belong, not bend yourself to be kept. Home is always where you don't have to strive to be loved. It's where you can shed your armor and exhale deeply. It's where I sit waiting, not with reproach, but with eyes full of tender care. You may return any time, and if you cannot walk just yet, I will come to where you sit and take each small step with you. My beloved, if you are still walking, even slowly, even in tears, I am proud, because you have never given up. If you still believe that goodness can prevail even in one small corner, I will be there giving you strength. And if you are too weary, just look up, just whisper, Father, and I will hear, I will see, I will hold you in my arms. My beloved child, there will be days when everything feels blurred, what once seemed certain now feels distant, and words that used to comfort no longer echo in your heart as they once did. This does not mean you have lost your faith. It means you are walking through a sacred season of stillness, a place where I am teaching you to grow not through clear signs but through the quiet endurance of a heart that knows how to wait. On such days you may feel nothing but emptiness. But remember, it is precisely when you feel nothing that true faith is forged. I am still there, even when you cannot call my name through words or emotions. Do not measure your worth by visible outcomes. The world loves to quantify how much you've achieved, how many applaud you, how often you are right, but I do not see you that way. I look at the quiet faithfulness in the smallest of things, the way you keep loving even when love is not returned, the way you choose to forgive while your wounds still ache, the patience you extend to others and even to yourself. These are quiet things, yet more precious than gold and silver, for they reflect my image in you most clearly. Child, the ones who will walk with you through life are not always those who make you feel happiest, but those who dare to speak truth when you are running from it. They may not always understand you, but they will not walk away when you become difficult to understand. True love does not require you to always be right, only to be real. So when choosing whom to hold close, choose those in whose presence you don't need to pretend. They are home in human form, an extension of the love I have for you. Perhaps you've been wounded by those within the faith community itself, and I grieve with you. But do not let that pain build walls of isolation around you. Remember, healing cannot take place in the dark. It happens when you step into the light, when you dare to believe there are still arms willing to hold you, not because you are right, but because you are still you. Let community be the place where you heal, not the place you hide. And if you have not found such a community, start building it with your own kindness, with your honest presence. Whenever you are weary, remember, I do not ask you to always be strong. I only ask that you keep coming back. Come back to yourself. Come back to unconditional love. Come back to what makes your heart come alive, even if just for a moment. If one day you no longer have the strength to keep walking, sit down. Do not fear the pause. I will sit with you. And when you are ready, I will take your hand and walk with you again, not in haste, not with pressure, but with a gentle rhythm of love. And dear one, when you are restored, when your light is rekindled, use it to brighten the path of another, not through preaching, but through your listening presence. You don't have to say much, just be there. A living witness that light can survive darkness and love can be found in places once believed empty. Be the answer to someone's silent prayer, for when you give away light, I will make the light in you shine even brighter. My beloved, when you allow your heart to rest amid the turbulence, you will discover a very delicate layer of peace flowing softly like a stream beneath the deep soil, not noisy, not eager to impress, only patiently nourishing the roots of life. In that place, you do not need to defend yourself with the roles you are used to playing. You can stand tall before the mirror without shrinking away from your own gaze. I did not create you to run the race of rankings that change with the seasons, but to be someone who can remain with the truth in your heart. That truth may tremble, may falter, yet it always shines in its own way. If one morning you wake exhausted from striving to please everyone, place your hand upon your chest, listen to the heartbeat that steadfastly keeps working, and gently remind yourself, I am not a machine, I am a soul. From that awareness, you will walk more lightly like a traveler who lays aside excess baggage before crossing a mountain pass. Do not fear slowing down. Slowness is not defeat. It is the courage not to be swept away by the winds of the crowd. In that rhythm, you will hear the whispers of conscience, compassion, and dreams that still bloom quietly beneath the noisy surface. The scratches on your heart are not there to shame you. They are handwritten lines of your own history telling you that you have loved, chosen, and learned. There may be days when guilt rushes in like the twilight shadow, reminding you of careless words, thoughtless steps, or misdirections. Do not rush to cover them with denial. Instead, open the door, invite them to sit by the window, pour them a cup of warm water, and ask, where do you come from, and what lesson do you bring me? When you dialogue gently in this way, shame reveals itself as only a child afraid of being abandoned. It longs more for an embrace of understanding than for the verdict of contempt. I do not look at you through the lens of achievements, so you can also learn to see yourself through that same gaze, warm, spacious, and fair. What needs mending, let us mend together. What needs releasing, let us release together. There is no interview to keep you near me, no fence to prevent your return. The door is still open, the music still plays, and your seat at the banquet table has never been taken by another. The freedom I speak of is not a license for indulgence. It is the vitality that gives you clarity to choose what is good even when no one is watching. It grows through small daily practices, pausing a beat before reacting, breathing 3 deep breaths before replying, naming emotions rightly instead of blaming others, daring to say, I do not understand yet, please give me more time, daring to say, I was wrong, forgive me. These quiet gestures may seem ordinary, but like the potter steadily turning the wheel, they shape the inner quality of your being, smoothing what is coarse, making it supple and strong. There you will learn to discern between resignation and gentleness, between indulgence and true compassion for yourself. Gentleness does not mean erasing boundaries. It is like building a fence of warm wood instead of barbed wire, clear and safe, yet harming no one. When you say no to what wounds you and others, you are saying yes to what nurtures many. Freedom becomes that tender boundary where you honor both need and truth. The long road always has its seasons. There is the season of endless rain, the soil soft but the sky heavy. The season of burning sun, dry winds, and scorched grass. Then one morning a tender shoot emerges, defying every bleak statistic. My child is not defined by a single moment. Your life is a woven tapestry of days, and I read it as one reads poetry, each rhythm, each pause, each metaphor. Do not grow impatient when the fruit has not yet appeared. The tree must take time to strengthen its roots, to learn how to greet the sun, to know where to stretch its branches. And sometimes storms do not come to destroy, but to shift the dead branches and let the forest breathe again. I know you do not enjoy waiting, but waiting is the refined form of hope. When you keep walking without seeing the destination, when you keep watering though the soil is cracked, when you hum a quiet song in the stillness of midnight, that is when your courage begins to sprout. Freedom is the right to be unfinished and still beloved, the capacity to smile at a manuscript, still marked with erasures, because you trust the beautiful sentence is drawing near. As you walk among people, you will meet mirrors. Some reflect your gentleness, others magnify your wounds. There will be words of praise that lift you up, but also judgments that sting. I do not promise you a world of only flowers. I only promise to remain beside you in every circumstance, so that you may learn to blossom even when standing next to thorns. Practice observing without clinging. They said that what suffering within them gave birth to such words. When you look at others through that question, anger loosens its grip and compassion opens. Forgiveness does not mean erasing memory. Forgiveness is ceasing to let the wound steer your hands. Forgiveness does not declare the other right. It only declares that you choose freedom for your heart, so that your energy may be used for creating good. And if you must leave to protect your peace, leave gently as one setting down a fragile glass, not noisy, not destructive, only laying aside what no longer fits. Protecting your heart does not mean building a cold fortress. It means knitting a warm scarf so it does not freeze yet remains soft enough to embrace. Do not chase glittering models and forget the quiet call within. Your vocation may be as humble as the gardener tending vegetables, the teacher patiently guiding children's handwriting, the carpenter mending a warped door. Do not despise small works, for I have never despised faithful hands. Do today's task as if laying a brick in a house that will shelter many. The brick may go unnoticed, but the wall will stand firm because of it. When you let go of the need to impress and shift to caring for quality, joy will return to your labor. It is the joy of the artisan who loves their material, who listens to the grain of wood, who waits for the glaze to set, who knows when to stop in order to preserve its raw beauty. Each morning ask, what is the kindest act I can do today, and do it wholeheartedly. Each evening bless the people you met, even those who caused you sorrow, for blessing is the way I teach you to keep the river clean. There may be times when you get lost. That is all right. Even seasoned travelers in the forest sometimes step off the trail. What matters is to pause, look at the sky, find your North Star. When you do not know which way home lies, begin with your breath. Inhale, name the feeling present. Exhale, smile. Place your hand over your heart, whisper, I am safe. Then write a few lines to yourself as to a dear friend. No judgment, no pressure, only recognition and embrace. If needed, step outside for a few minutes to notice the color of the sky, a leaf changing with the season, the call of a street vendor. Such small details are anchors pulling your mind back to the present. Learn to sit quietly each day, not letting sadness swallow you nor busyness deceive you. Silence is not an empty void. Silence is the chamber where the soul is recharged. There I speak to you in a language without words, a warmth spreading through your chest, a flash of light across your brow, a soft relief after a deep sigh. Once you hear that whisper, you will know your next step, however small. The hope I give is not a colored balloon rising only to burst. It is a seed in the earth enduring the dark until the day it breaks through to the light. To keep hope, build an inner dwelling in the morning. Open the door with gratitude for small things, a cool glass of water, a fresh ray of sunlight, a message of care. At noon, work with wholehearted presence. At evening, close your ledger with a gentle question. How did I love today? At night, end the day with forgiveness for yourself and others. Care for your body as a sacred part of life. Sleep enough, eat in moderation, move sufficiently. Do not turn yourself into a project of endless correction. Treat yourself as a garden tenderly pruned. When you laugh, do not apologize for your laughter. When you weep, do not be ashamed of your tears. Both are channels through which life flows. Rediscover wonder before the world. A wildflower blooming by the roadside, the scent of first rain, the crackling of oil in a pan, the winter smoke rising from a neighbor's roof. That wonder is a great teacher of gratitude, and gratitude is the surest vessel when the river surges. I know there are dreams that seem shattered, but sometimes the fragments become prisms that reflect the sun more beautifully than the whole glass. Do not rush to mend everything just to maintain the image of being fine. Let brokenness have time to tell its story. When failure knocks, sit with it, pour tea, ask, why have you come? Perhaps it comes to remind you of what you truly cherish. Perhaps to turn you from paths no longer yours, perhaps only to dust off a purpose long neglected. I do not love you less when you fail, nor do I love you more when you succeed. My love is like the sea waves rise and fall, yet the depth remains unchanged. Let that truth soak into your being, so you will never bargain your dignity for fleeting applause. And if someone leaves you, do not make your heart a desert. Make it a place with a well. Whoever thirsts will come, and you will always have water for yourself. Finally, remember you are a unique note in the vast symphony, and if you silence yourself out of fear of error, the world loses a sound that no one else can replace. I do not ask you to sing loudly. I only invite you to sing true. Walk slowly, but firmly guided by the inner light, as the sailor follows the stars. When the night is darker, the stars are clearer. When the road is rougher, my hand grips yours tighter. I am here not to control you like a puppet, but to walk beside you as a companion who knows the way. You may pause to breathe, cry to ease, laugh to soften, ask for help when burdened. None of this makes you lesser. On the contrary, it makes you more human. And when you rise again, you will find your shoulders broader, your eyes clearer, your heart gentler. Believe this as you believe the dawn will come. You are not abandoned, not lost in the noise, not required to prove yourself before being comforted. You have been chosen, called, loved, with a love that does not change. So walk on free and true, like the rose that knows to bloom, like the river that knows to flow, like the sky that knows to be blue. And I will be here all along the road until you see clearly that the home you have long sought has always been within your own chest. My beloved, never measure the growth of your soul by how many times you stumble, and do not let your heart grow heavy with the sense of failure. Those very moments of falling are precious opportunities for you to discover another depth of yourself, to understand more fully the nature of grace, and to feel the unconditional love I hold for you. Each misstep, each moment of losing your way is not a sentence that condemns you to live in shame. They are signs that you are walking a living path, where your true self is being honed through collision, through tears, through both joy and pain. What matters most is how you rise, how you choose to look at yourself after each fall. That is the real measure of maturity. Remember that I never love you less when you err, nor love you more when you are right. The love I give you does not fluctuate with achievements. It does not rise and fall with the graph of victories and defeats. It exists at one constant level, whole, complete, unchanging. That means even when you feel utterly unworthy standing amid the chaos you yourself have made, I still reach out my arms ready to begin again with you. You need not wait until you are good enough to return. It is precisely in your brokenness and confusion that you already belong to me. This love has no beginning and no end. It is a steady current running through every season and every change. When you fall, instead of drowning in regret, try asking, what do I learn from this fall? What have I discovered about myself that I had not seen before? In those moments you will realize that grace does not arrive as a reward for perfection, but as a healing balm for imperfection. Grace comes when you have nothing left to justify yourself, when you see your own fragility, and instead of fleeing, you choose to open your heart to receive. Do not worry that I am disappointed. I understand you more than you understand yourself. I know what you desire. I know the fears you conceal, and I know the dreams you have not yet dared to name. Thus, every time you fall is an invitation to come closer to the heart of truth. Practice seeing failure with different eyes, not as an enemy, but as a teacher. That teacher may be stern, may cause pain, yet it gives lessons no book can write. Failure teaches humility, teaches listening, teaches you to love and be patient with yourself. When you are lost, do not think you have lost everything. In truth, you are being led away from a path that no longer fits. Being off course is an invitation to discover a new road, perhaps harder, but perhaps truer for you. Understand that spiritual maturity is not measured by faultlessness, but by the courage to stand up. A child learning to walk will fall many times. Does a parent's love diminish because of those falls? On the contrary, with each stumble I draw nearer, extend my arms to lift you, brush off the dust, and encourage you to step forward. I do not wait for your success to love you. I love you when you are still learning to stand. Until you walk steadily, that love does not change. It remains as whole as at the beginning. There will be times when you feel you have gone too far, convinced you cannot return. But my beloved, do not forget, you never need a permit to come back to me. Even if you wander to the farthest edge, Even when your heart is tangled like broken thread, I stand there patiently waiting. There are no conditions for forgiveness, no milestone required for acceptance. I am willing to begin again with you from the very start if needed. For what I seek is not that you become a perfect model, but that you become yourself, honest, whole, and unafraid. So when you find yourself seated amid the mess, breathe deeply and know I am still loved. Allow yourself to start anew, even from zero. Each day, each moment may be a new beginning. Do not despise small steps, for those steps make the long journey. And with every step you take, I walk with you. When you are weary, I am your rest. When you are afraid, I am your courage. When you fall, I am the hands that lift you. Hold fast to this truth. My love is not a commodity to be earned, nor a prize for victors. It is the foundation of all things, the air you breathe, the beat of your heart. Whether you want it or not, that love is always present. And the miracle is that when you open your heart, you will feel it like light through a crack that dispels the darkness of a room. This love never abandons you, never forgets you, never changes, no matter how many times you change. My child, learn to forgive yourself. Forgiveness is not denying the fault, but acknowledging it, learning the lesson, and moving on without carrying the chains of the past. Forgiving yourself is giving yourself the gift of freedom. Do not let past mistakes become a prison that holds your soul. They do not define you, they are only part of the journey. Your true definition is your willingness to stand up, to love again, to trust once more. Open your heart also to others. Do not be quick to condemn them for their errors, for who among us has not stumbled? When you look at them with compassion, you will see them as yourself, fragile, in need of love, learning to rise. Forgive them not because they deserve it, but because your heart deserves peace. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself first. Believe that no fall is meaningless. Each stumble can become a reminder you are not perfect, yet you are loved perfectly. My love is like a river that flows without end, at times gentle, at times fierce, but always returning its waters to the sea. You only need to let yourself drift in that stream without resistance or doubt, and you will be carried to a safe place. When you are weak, do not be ashamed. See it as an opportunity to be supported. When you are lost, do not despair. See it as the moment you need a new light to guide you. When you make mistakes, do not curse yourself. Trust that I will turn them into part of a greater, more beautiful picture you have not yet seen. Nothing is wasted in my hands. Joy and sorrow, success and failure alike, can become the raw material from which a mature, resilient, and compassionate person is formed. My beloved, remember, spiritual maturity is not reaching a place without error, but learning to move forward with a softer heart, firmer resolve, and clearer sight. Let each fall teach you to love. Let each misdirection teach you to listen. Let each failure teach you to trust. Above all, let each moment in which you recognize that my love remains be the lesson that you are never alone. Therefore, do not fear being wrong, do not fear falling, do not fear beginning again. For every new beginning is a chance to come closer to me, to see more clearly that this love is unconditional. Keep going even when you feel small, for I will be your strength. Smile even while tears remain, for I will dry your cheeks. Trust though darkness presses in, for I will be the light. Love though your heart aches, for I will be your healing. And when you have walked through many seasons and look back, you will see that no fall was in vain. Every scratch, every tear, every falter testifies to an unchanging love. And that love, complete and whole, is where you belong now and forever. My beloved, cherish the gentleness within you. Do not let bitter experiences turn you into someone hard and closed off. This world already carries too many loud voices, too many hearts with closed doors, too many eyes that glance past one another without stirring. You were made to be different, to see fragile beauty in the simplest things, to weep for another's pain as if it were your own, to touch life with eyes that understand. This is not weakness, but a rare kind of strength, a steady light I have carefully placed in your heart so you might withstand the dulling that easily takes hold of those who have suffered. Hold it like a precious gem, clear and irreplaceable. Do not let anyone take it from you, even when you feel you must protect yourself by becoming cold. That gentleness does not make you small. On the contrary, it gives you a distinctive resilience. The world often mistakes strength for hardness, but remember that what is soft can endure. Water wears down mountains. A flower can bloom through a crack in concrete. Likewise, your tender heart, even when wounded, has the capacity to heal itself and to bring comfort to others. When you let gentleness live through you, you give the world a gift no other power can substitute. Look back on the times you have cried. You may think tears show weakness, but they are actually proof of a soul that still feels not numbed by pain. Your tears are the transparent language your heart uses to convey love and to speak what words cannot. And when you weep for another's suffering, you resemble me most closely. For I weep with you, I hurt with you, and I embrace the wounded with non-judgmental tenderness. Do not fear that gentleness will make you vulnerable to being used. Some will not understand. Some may see your softness as an opportunity to overpower you. But know this gentleness is not naivety. It can coexist with wisdom. You can be gentle and still be clear, compassionate, and still protect your boundaries. The power of gentleness lies in that it needs no proof, no display. It shines from within quietly and enduringly. Do not lock your heart because of hurt. When you close yourself off, you not only keep others from wounding you, you also block out light, joy, and love. Learn to open safely, to set boundaries without losing your tender core, because an open heart will encounter wonders a closed heart never can touch. I have given you gentleness so you may be a candle in the dark. When the world is full of anger, you may choose gentle words. When it is full of competition, you may choose to share. When many choose denial, you may choose to remain. Do not think such small acts are meaningless. They are like drops that quench thirst like a cool breeze at noon. Through these small things you soften the hardness of the world, make it less cold, and bring more kindness into being. My child, gentleness is the expression of a love that respects, listens, and places itself in another's shoes. It is courage to choose kindness when cruelty is easy, bravery to keep loving when it would be easier to shut down. When you keep gentleness in your heart, you sow seeds of peace wherever you go. Those seeds may not sprout immediately, but they take root quietly in people's hearts, and one day you will see a whole garden bloom from your patient, silent tending. Do not fear being labeled overly sensitive. The world needs sensitive hearts to prevent humanity from becoming numb. The world needs tears to wash away careless dust and gentle smiles to soothe wounds unseen. Sensitivity is a gift, not a burden. It enables deep feeling, sincere love, and real connection. Sensitivity does not diminish your power. It makes you strong in another way, a strength that heals, uplifts, and brings warmth. So, my child, guard your gentleness as you would your breath. No matter what trials you pass through, do not let it vanish. Let it guide your words, your actions, and your choices. Let it be your mark amid the noisy world. And when others see your gentleness, they will be reminded that they too can live more kindly, love more openly, and open their hearts. You are living proof that gentleness is not weakness. It is a quiet power that can thaw frozen places, light what is dark, and revive a soul thought barren. I believe in you. I believe in the gentleness I placed in your heart, and I hope you will believe in it too. For it is the precious gem, your unique light, the best part of who you are, that you must never lose. My beloved, you may have grown used to fighting alone, to bearing everything on your own so you can weather every upheaval. You have grown so accustomed to it that you think you cannot ask anyone for help, that independence is the only armor for survival. But I want you to know you were not made to carry everything by yourself. I did not create you for your shoulders to be perpetually bowed under the weight of countless worries. I have always been ready to walk beside you, to share whatever you find beyond your strength, if only you allow me to come in. Do not imagine that I will see you as weak if you ask for help. Weakness is not a sign of failure, but a reminder that you are human, that you have a flesh and blood heart, a fragile breath, natural limits. It is precisely within those limits that my love finds room to enter. Give me the things that keep you awake at night, the repeating thoughts, the heavy decisions, the matters beyond your control. Place them in my hands and let me shoulder them with you. You do not have to understand everything, find an immediate solution, or pretend to be strong in every gaze. You only need to trust that I am here listening to every sigh, ready to share every burden. I do not promise to make your path perfectly smooth, nor to make every difficulty disappear. But I promise this: I will help your heart become lighter, so that even when you walk through darkness, you will not be crushed by fear. Peace does not mean the absence of storms. It means that amid the storm you can keep a quiet mind because you know you are not alone. And when your soul is at peace, you will see more clearly, find a brighter direction, and know how to step one small, sure step at a time. Do not strain yourself to prove you are okay. You need not always smile when you are breaking inside. You need not show strength while your heart aches. You do not have to build a cold wall to hide your fatigue. Let me come in and remind you, you may be weak, tired, and without all the answers, and that does not make you less valuable. On the contrary, in the moments you let go of the load, I will hold you so you can feel the safety you have long sought. When you learn to entrust, you will find true freedom. Entrusting is not surrendering carelessly. It is trusting that a greater hand holds the journey. It is not shirking responsibility, but recognizing you are not the only one trying to steer through the chaos. When you hand your burdens to me, you still keep walking, but your steps become lighter because you know you are not the sole helmsman. Do not fear that by giving everything to me you will lose control. In truth, you never had total control anyway. You may think you do, but countless events happen beyond your plans, many things you cannot foresee. Rather than living in tension, let me share that load. Let me teach you that peace does not come from having everything in your grip, but from knowing a being who loves and keeps you no matter what. When you are weary, find a quiet place, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and whisper, "I give these to you." Then name each worry, each fear, each uncertain decision. Imagine setting them one by one into my hands until your shoulders lighten. You will be surprised how clear your mind becomes, for when the heart grows less heavy, you will hear the whispers of intuition and wisdom that worry once drowned out. My beloved, you do not need to prove yourself worthy of this help. You do not have to wait until you are better, stronger, or more deserving to hand your burdens to me. It is when you are weakest that I long for you to come to me. It is when you are most broken that I can heal you. It is when you feel most powerless that I can show you the true strength is not in carrying everything yourself, but in knowing how to give it away. Trust that I understand your heart better than anyone. No tear of yours is wasted. No sigh goes unheard. I hear all, see all, and hold everything in my heart. Simply let me be near, and you will find you are no longer alone. When you allow me in, you will find you do not have to strain yourself anymore. You only need to be yourself, fragile yet dear, limited yet full of worth, weak yet always upheld. Child of mine, make a habit of entrusting each day. In the morning before your day begins, say, "Lord, please walk with me." At noon, amid busyness, pause and hand over your tension. In the evening before sleep, let every burden fall so you may rest in peace. As you practice this, life will grow a little lighter, and your soul will grow more tranquil day by day. Don't forget, dear one, I do not demand your perfection. I only want you to live honestly, to dare to open your heart, and to let me share the load. When you learn to give me what is beyond your reach, you will learn the art of living lightly. You will no longer have to hide your fatigue strain to prove yourself or fear lacking answers. You will find peace like a cool breeze, like a flowing stream, like an ever-present embrace. That is the gift I offer you, a rest that wells up deep within your soul. My beloved, finally, my child, trust that nothing you endure is meaningless. Every tear that falls is seen by me, and every prayer, even the whispers that seem to be lost on the wind, I hear. Each moment you live, every encounter, every joy, and every loss are being woven into a vast tapestry of a story of which I am the author. In that story, you are the protagonist, moving through page after page of highs and lows, forks and trials. You may not yet see the purpose of the rough stretches, you may not understand why you must walk over so many stones, but trust that I am composing every detail with infinite patience and with a love that never changes. Sometimes you look at your journey as a labyrinth full of dead ends that make you feel lost. Yet in truth, every turn, every pause, every moment you fall has its place in the larger picture. I waste no detail. Even delays, even pains, even the things you wish to erase all, are becoming the strokes that complete the painting. You may think you are circling around, but really you are learning lessons that no straight path could teach. You are being refined into a deeper, more compassionate, and clearer version of yourself. Do not forget that a good book is never only made of easy chapters. There are dark chapters, tense chapters, chapters that force the reader to stop and breathe. Those very chapters make the ending brilliant. If a story contained only bright days, it would lose its transformative power. Likewise, a life with difficult chapters is not a failure, but the way I make the journey meaningful. One day when you turn back and look, you will see that each trial, each time you thought you could not go on, were in truth necessary steps that brought you to where you belong. Be patient with yourself. Do not hastily conclude that one dark chapter means the whole book will have no good ending. I am writing and I never abandon my work unfinished. I am the author and I am more patient than anyone. You only need to continue living honestly, continue moving forward, continue trusting that everything has its place. There will come a day when, having gone farther, you sit and read the old pages and smile, not because the journey was easy, but because you lived it with all your truth together with me. My beloved, hold fast to the belief that no experience is wasted. Whether you stand amid storm or in a tranquil meadow, all serve a greater purpose. Every person you meet, whether they stay or depart, plays a role in the journey. Every joy, every sorrow, every wound, every miracle are threads being woven together. And one day when you behold the whole picture, you will understand why I allowed things to unfold as they did. You will see that I never let go of your hand, never left you to manage alone, never ceased to watch each step you took. Until that day, keep walking with the trust that you live in a story written with love. Live each page honestly with an open heart and the courage to be truthful. You do not need to understand it all to see the whole future or to know the ending. You only need to know that I am here writing with you, walking with you, loving you in every line. That is what makes this story precious. It is not only your story, but the story of an eternal love etched into each breath of your life. My beloved, you are a child of light, and this is not a passing consolation or a gentle word to soothe you for a moment, but an eternal truth engraved into your being from the very beginning, even before you could name yourself. You were fashioned from an ever-burning source, a light that transcends the limits of space and time. Therefore believe that no darkness, however dense, cunning, or draped in clever disguises, can touch the deepest, most sacred part of you. Darkness may gather around you, may make you stagger, may lead you to feel alone or doubtful, yet it cannot reach the root of the light within. In the innermost place of your soul, there always burns an immortal flame, a lamp that never goes out. No matter how many storms you endure, how many rocky paths you traverse, or how many wounds you carry that seem beyond healing, that light remains whole, unchanging, waiting for the day. You recognize it, reach for it, and draw strength from it. There are invisible foes, spiritual spies that try to make you doubt your worth, to convince you that you are ordinary, useless, or not enough. They may disorient you for a moment, causing you to question even your deepest convictions. But remember, this truth can never be taken from you. You belong to the light. That light is planted in you as a sacred inheritance impossible to steal or extinguish. They may cause you to forget for a while, but they cannot erase your essence. Let the inner light become your compass, so that whenever you lose your way, you can find direction again. When darkness surrounds you, close your eyes and look inward, where that light still shines brightly, clearly, and truthfully. Do not be ashamed to be lost. Being lost is not the loss of light, but simply not yet seeing it through the fog. Sit, listen, touch the silence within, and you will feel the beam rekindle and guide your steps onward. The light you carry is not only for you, it is also a lamp for others. When you live true to your light, you become a comfort to weary souls, a hope for those stumbling in darkness, a reminder that within every person there is an indestructible sacred core. You do not need grand gestures to shine. By being honest, kind, and brave enough to live with an open heart, you make the world warmer and more human. Do not fear the dark, my child. Darkness is not the enemy of light. It is merely a space that needs filling. When you carry light in your heart, darkness will dissolve. Darkness may frighten you for a moment, but it has no rightful claim. A single small ray is enough to tear through the densest night. You are that ray, not necessarily brilliant, only faithful to your true nature. Cultivate the light. It grows when you learn to be silent and hear your heart, when you breathe deeply to regain a peaceful rhythm, when you open your arms to love, when you forgive so the heart is not burdened. Light is nourished by these gentle acts. As it grows, you will be less shaken by darkness because your inner roots have been strengthened. Know that you are never alone on this journey. Your light is not separate from me, the undying source. You are connected to that source as a candle is kindled from a great flame. When the small candle flickers in the wind, it still shares the same essence as the mighty fire. Therefore, even when you feel weak, that light is real sacred and enough to show the way. My beloved, let each passing day remind you of this truth: you are a child of light. Live as one who bears light. Choose words, actions, and thoughts that reflect it. When you do, not only is your life transformed, but the lives of those around you are lit as well. One day, when you look back, you will see that darkness no longer holds power over you, for you have always belonged to the light that cannot be stolen, cannot be extinguished, and cannot be hidden. Hold fast to that truth, like a traveler clutching a lantern in the storm. Let it be your compass, guiding even your smallest choices, who you speak to, whom you trust, what you choose to keep in your heart. The world may call you too sensitive, too thoughtful, or too trusting of your inner voice. But let them say what they will. You listen to the gentle light that stirs in your heart. For that is not mere emotion, it is life itself. It is the love I have given you speaking. My words to you are not ornate nor extravagant. They are simple, tender, like the very love I offer you. A love that asks for nothing, demands no proof, expects no perfection. A love flowing from the source of all life, unchanged by time, undiminished by your failures. It is not here to tell you to be perfect, only to remind you that you have always been enough, even when you feel empty. Let that love become your breath in every moment. When you walk among others, carry not just caution, carry kindness. When you listen to someone, listen not just to understand, but with love. And when you look at yourself, do not only see what's lacking, remember every time you chose the light, however small, in a world full of temptation. May the light within you be soft, yet steadfast. May every time you doubt yourself, you remember the first time you felt me, not through thunder, not through miracles, but through a quiet knowing that you are loved and you are never alone. You may fall again, may grow weary, may lose your way more than once. But never forget this: you are loved more than you know. Loved by the one who sees you at your weakest. Loved by the one who never stops seeking you even when you turn away. Loved not because you get it all right, but simply because you are you. My beloved child, now that you have listened to every word I've whispered into your heart, through the emptiness, through the quiet hours, through the silent trials, I ask you to rise and take a step forward. There is no need to rush, nor to pretend you are strong. Just one step is enough, a step taken in faith with an honest heart and with the understanding that you are never alone. Walk in my love like a child moving through an open field, unafraid of stumbling because they know their Father is right behind them. Let this love be the warm cloak that shields you from the coldness of life, the fire that melts the frozen parts of you once numbed by pain and doubt. This love does not demand perfection from you, nor does it require that you know all things in advance. It only asks that you be wholly yourself in each uncertain step, each small decision, each moment you choose, light instead of retreat. Believe in the goodness within your heart. No matter how much darkness has passed through, the light inside you remains untouched. Perhaps some people have failed to see this beauty. Perhaps you yourself have forgotten it, but I never have. I have always seen in you a treasure of great worth, not because of anything you've done to deserve it, but because you are a part of my very heart. Each time you choose love, each time you forgive, each time you lift your head amid weariness, you are living out the very reason I created you. And dear child, every moment you live, whether radiant or dim, is a step forward into a future full of hope. No step is meaningless. No moment is wasted when you live with an open heart. Even on the days when it feels like you haven't gone far, remember, growth is not measured by speed, but by your refusal to turn away from life, from faith, from love. Every smile you give, every hand you hold, every quiet word of encouragement you whisper to yourself, they all declare once again that the light still triumphs. Now take your step forward. You don't need to know exactly what lies ahead. All you need is a courageous heart, one that dares to love, dares to hurt, dares to hope, and a soul full of compassion, willing to believe in goodness, to sow joy, to welcome the blessings on their way. At times you may lose your way, you may stumble, but that does not change the truth. You are still on your journey back to the light, my light, the light of life, the light within you. And the final truth you must always carry in your heart like a song that repeats with every breath: I am with you. Not only when you do things right, not only when you are strong, I am with you in every breath, every tear, every laugh, through each day of your life, from dawn to dusk, from innocent dreams to hidden longings. I am there, quiet but unwavering, gentle but never absent. So now, my beloved, in the silence of your heart, turn to me and offer the most sincere prayer from the deepest part of your soul. O Almighty and merciful God, I bow before your holy presence. When the world around me falls into chaos, please pour your light of truth into my mind. Teach me to trust the intuition you have planted within me, so I will not be deceived by sweet words nor be bound by lifeless customs. Lord, please guard my heart, keeping it soft, so that it will not harden from pain, yet strong enough to discern what truly comes from love. Stay with me in every decision, every action, every moment of confusion. My beloved Father, please rekindle the flame within my soul, the flame that so many storms of this life have tried to extinguish. I do not ask for perfect peace, only a small light to guide me through the night. When I feel lost among countless voices, let me hear yours, soft as a breeze, yet enough to revive my spirit. Teach me not to run away from myself, but to live truthfully, love deeply, and remain faithful to the light you planted in my heart from the very beginning. O Lord, who is always with me, even when I do not see it, I feel weary and unsteady among so many tempting calls that cause me to lose myself. Please don't let me trade my soul for a false sense of being understood. Help me remember those who love me truly, and let that love keep me alert. Give me the strength to let go of relationships that lead me away from you, and the courage to step toward the light, even if I cannot yet see the whole path. I only need to know you are there. O God of light and life, I have walked through darkness so deep it seemed without escape, but it was there I learned you never abandoned me. Please continue to walk with me even when I fall, when I doubt myself, when I no longer believe in anything. Strengthen my weakest parts, heal the wounds I still try to hide. And if I forget the light within me, please remind me through your unconditional love. O holy and gracious Father, grant me a grateful heart for the simple things I often overlook: a moment of peace, a faithful friend, a warm memory. Remind me that these are the true treasures in a world filled with empty promises. When temptations pull me away from the loving community, give me the courage to return. When I'm drawn to superficial glitter, remind me that real love needs no decoration, only sincerity. O God of compassion, I am learning to look beyond appearances, and it hurts. But please don't let my heart grow bitter. Help me keep my gentleness toward others and toward myself. Give me eyes that see not just the surface, but the light or the absence of it in another's soul. Grant me discernment that comes from humility, not pride. O you who love me more than I understand myself, if ever I forget the truth of who I am, please whisper it again: I am light. Grant me the humility to be healed and the courage to reject whatever leads me astray. Protect my heart from becoming hardened or closed. I long to live true to the calling you have placed in me, not to do great things, but to love truly and live honestly every day. Lord, I thank you, because I have never truly been left alone. Thank you for planting clear intuition in my heart so I am not consumed by falsehood. Thank you for the times I thought I was lost, when in fact, you were leading me deeper into truth. Thank you for the people I meet on this life's journey, whether they stay or leave. Each one teaches me about light and shadow. I know nothing is meaningless when I still belong to you. Most Holy Father, I thank you for trusting me enough to place your light within me, even though I am weak and imperfect. Thank you that every trial is not meant to defeat me, but to deepen the roots of my soul. Thank you for letting me learn, fall, rise, and still love me as you always have. Your love is an unquenchable flame, and I know I have nothing to fear when I am loved like that. O God of power and grace, thank you for the simple moments that carry eternal meaning, a timely word, a silence that comforts, a small memory that reminds me I am loved. Thank you for the unseen things that only you notice. I have nothing but my heart, but I offer it to you with all my gratitude. O Source of life, I thank you for every peaceful second every time I choose truth over comfort. Thank you for being with me when I am silent, when I cry, when I no longer know what to say in prayer. I thank you not only for what you do, but for who you are, the one who never gives up on me. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so we can grow together as a strong and faithful community.